Paramount has just announced a hostile takeover bid for CNN's parent company, Warner Brothers Discovery. This news coming just days after the company announced a deal with Netflix.
CNN chief media analyst Brian Stelter is gathering the details. What is this?
Okay, guys, welcome to the video. This is Justin Paul. I kind of wanted to bring up this here because it's been very, very popular within news and on social media. So a few days ago, there was a deal reached as far as Netflix to purchase like the film assets and some of the rights to a lot of the film assets from Warner Brothers Discovery. And not only just film, it's other assets they were looking to purchase, from Warner Brothers Discovery. I'm not sure if the actual physical studios were being purchased, but as far as any type of content, they was definitely looking to purchase it. For it was billions, like 80 something $billion, over $80 billion. And now Paramount is coming and they're offering more. They're offering over $100 billion. And it's gonna be interesting to see who wins this. Do have another video here saying that Trump had flagged the Netflix Warner Brothers deal for the Department of Justice to review it and stuff like that. But whoever gets this deal, of course, it's going to strengthen their company and strengthen their content that they have for their streaming customers. Netflix, of course, wants their whole MO is to be one of the biggest. I mean, they are one of the biggest streaming companies, but they want to hold on to that and strengthen the content that they have and bringing in the whole content catalog from Warner Brothers Discovery is going to definitely make them one of the hugest streaming platforms that we've ever seen. And it's going to be interesting for the shareholders, for the executives, anybody who has a stake, or anyone who has like any type of business affair within Warner Brothers Discovery and within Netflix, or even Paramount, because Paramount has come with a even bigger offer for them now. So we'll have to see, what's going to become of this. But this is the news clipping from, talking about this deal.
For our viewers who may not understand exactly what this means, tell us about it, Brian.
This all comes down to how much Warner Bros. Discovery is worth, how much it's valued by shareholders. This time last year, the stock was hovering around $10 a share. It had been beaten down by shareholders for a couple of years, but now WBD is up near $30 a share.
I'm sorry, I didn't have my mic on. If you got in it at $10 a share, congratulations, because now you've doubled your money from 10 to 30. Your money is doubled, damn near tripled. But that's like a $20 increase on your share, because if you was getting it at 10, it's done went up to 30. So boom. So depending on how many shares you have, and my thing is, that's one of those things where you buy and hold. You just buy and hold, especially when you got a company that's coming in to purchase. Even now at $30, man, $30, you dollar cost average. That's perfect to get into. Um, yeah, just and I take a lot of the information that I got from being a part of Anton Daniels Patreon, and I just apply that to my stock strategy, my investment strategy, as far as what to invest in, and how the dollar cost average. Like, man, every time I get paid, a portion of what I pay goes into either getting a better position in the companies I'm already invested in, or looking to invest in other companies. And it's not like I'm all over the place and have like, I don't even have 10 companies that I'm invested in right now. Like right now I'm hovering at about 5, maybe 7 companies, no more than that though. I know for sure, no more than that. And I'm just dollar cost averaging, just increasing my position. Sometimes I'll take some profits out, but I'm just steady holding. because, you know, these are companies I believe in, and these are companies I feel like are going to, you know, feed my kids, you know, not only feed my kids, but my kids, you know. So, you know, that's just how I'm approaching everything. But man, I wish I would have got in on it when it was $10 a share. You know, when stocks get beat down like that, it's the perfect buy opportunity for just the regular everyday citizen, the regular person who goes to work, comes home, and looks to put their money into something in order to try to build some type of wealth for themselves and for their family. Like, you have to just pay attention to and it's just more than likely it's stuff that you use every day, or content and stuff that you watch every day. Like, it's a company behind all these things. So, you know, you look on the label, you see what the company is, you go look and see if they have public stock or not. And, you know, if it's something that you use constantly or all the time, then maybe it's something that you may want to invest in, you know. um that's just pretty much it.
And that's how much Paramount is offering for the entire company, including CNN. This is an attempt to go over the top and to defeat Netflix, which has offered to pay $27 and change per share for just Warner Brothers and HBO, for just the movie studio and the streaming service part of the house. Paramount is basically saying that it is making a superior all-cash offer and going directly to shareholders. And what
So, Netflix just wants like the HBOs, just the content, but Paramount says, "Hey, we want we even want like your CNNs, True TVs, all that, everything else under your umbrella. We want that as well, and we're gonna give you an increased bid, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting."
it's known as a hostile takeover bid, and letting investors decide what to do with the future of the company. Here's Paramount CEO David Ellison speaking about it this morning.
We're sitting on Wall Street where cash is still king. We are offering shareholders $17.6 billion more cash than the deal that they currently have signed up with Netflix. And we believe when they see what is currently in our offer, that that's what they'll vote for.
So it's a corporate tug of war, financial back and forth. This is going to go on for a while. Netflix and WBD have a contract, they have a deal, and they're staying the course moving forward. Now, President Trump is an X factor here. Will he direct the Justice Department to slow down Netflix's pursuit of Warner Brothers? Will he try to tip the scales in some way? Well, notably, last night, Trump was keeping his options open. He expressed some skepticism about Netflix's deal, but he also praised co-CEO Ted Sarandos. Here's what Trump said.
Well, that's got to go through a process, and we'll see what happens. Netflix is a great company, and they've done a phenomenal job. Ted is a fantastic man. I have a lot of respect for him, but it's a lot of market share, so we'll have to see what happens.
Now, Netflix has been courting President Trump in recent weeks, and so has Paramount CEO David Ellison. A lot of this comes down to the relationships that the president has with these media moguls and what direction these moguls want to take the company. Notably, though, this morning, Trump blasted Paramount and blasted David Ellison in a Truth Social post. Apparently, the president was very upset with 60 Minutes last night, and he said in all caps, "They're no better than the old ownership. Since they bought it, 60 Minutes has actually gotten worse." So President Trump not happy with either of his options seemingly this morning. But more importantly, more notably, a hostile bid now for WBD. We don't know who will end up owning CNN and the rest of the company.
Welcome back. It's time now for the Word on Wall Street. Top investors watching your money. Joining me now is Sanctuary Wealth Chief Investment Strategist Marianne Bartels. Also with us is Michael Lee Strategy Founder Michael Lee. Great to see you both. Thank you so much for being here. And I want to kick things off with you, Michael, with markets this morning fractionally higher. Ahead of the Fed meeting, President Trump raised antitrust concerns over Netflix's planned $72 billion takeover of Warner Brothers, warning that the combined market share could be a problem. Watch this.
Well, that's got to go through a process, and we'll see what happens. Netflix is a great company, and they've done a phenomenal job. Ted is a fantastic man. I have a lot of respect for him, but it's a lot of market share. So we'll have to see what happens. And when they have Warner Brothers, you know, that share goes up a lot. So I don't know. That's going to be for some economists to tell. And I'll be involved in that decision.
The deal is now facing scrutiny from the Department of Justice and from Congress as the Justice Department prepares for a lengthy review. Prediction markets now are pricing in a sharply lower chance that this acquisition closes by the end of 2026. Big news here, Michael. Your thoughts?
Yeah, look, it's looking like this deal will be a large breakup fee payout and not a deal completed unless several concessions are made. And Netflix, in this case, is a little bit of a victim of their own success in that there are lots of streaming services out there, but Netflix is far and ahead the leader in the pack here. But look, from the markets as a whole, this is a good sign to see these deals going. These are typically signs of strong markets when you see large acquisitions like this. And now that the government shutdown is over, the repo markets have somewhat healed. We're back to quantitative easing versus quantitative tightening, with the rate cut looking likely on the way very shortly. That stocks are back off to the races in that so much of equity markets are led by leverage, by the repo markets, and we saw a draining of liquidity during the largest government shutdown ever. So historically, government shutdowns have done very little to affect the markets, but this, however, was the longest shutdown ever. And I think we will see new highs in stocks by the end of the year, particularly a lot of recovery in some of the tech stocks that haven't quite gotten back to their October highs. So I'd be looking to buy up and down the AI spectrum in any of the names you like there, as the markets are just off to the races now.
Well, I mean, look, you heard what Jamie Dimon just said. I wrote it down. IPOs backlog is huge. M&A backlog is huge. I mean, that's what he just said to us. Marianne, markets are up this year despite all the volatility we've seen. The NASDAQ up better than 22% in 2025, outpacing the Dow's 13% gain, and the S&P is up 17%. But so much of this rally still powered by, as you just heard.
No, and even if you don't know anything about investing, like your retirement companies, and you know, if you don't know anything as far as investing, you know, you get like a Fidelity account, E-Trade, whatever. You can invest in, like, you know, the S&P 500 or whatnot, and just kind of follow that, you know, or just really just kind of get online and try to get as much information as you can as far as learning this type of stuff. I wish this is something that was taught in like high school. Like if I was like 16, 17, learning this, and when I turned 18, you know, been on it since then. But it's always been something that, you know, I'm just be honest, like within, you know, the community that I was in or environment I was in, they was just scared of this type of stuff. So they didn't, because they didn't understand it, and they didn't care to try to understand it. And I just feel like that's a huge problem, man. Like you know, knowledge is power, and knowledge is key to kind of get yourself out of situations or environments that you're in. Like if you have the knowledge of something, then it becomes less scary to you because you have an understanding about it. And then you can choose to whether deal with it or not. But you know, I just, you know, kind of wanted to say that because it's, of course, stuff fluctuates and stuff like that. So you never want to put in something that, you know, you're not really afraid to lose. But man, it's been great for me so far, you know, and I can say I've really only really been on it for like maybe the last 2-3 years as far as really knowing what I'm doing, and it's just been great so far, you know, and hopefully it continues to be great, and I learn, you know, stuff every day, so, you know.
Heard from Mike, big tech and AI spending. I've been asking the question repeatedly, when are we going to see a return on investment for all these trillions having gone into AI? And I spoke with Jamie Dimon about it as well, particularly with nearly 5,000 AI data centers already built. Watch this. Are we going to see any return on investment on all this money anytime soon? We've got about 5,000 data centers that have built for AI. Where's the return on investment?
I heard we did a research report about how much. It's $5 trillion, and that includes everything: the data centers, the servers, the chips,
wow,
the fiber. It doesn't necessarily include the power plant or the transmission lines, but there will be big winners. You know, you remember out of the internet, you got Google and Facebook and Amazon and tons of others and whole new technologies. But it took a while for some other things to come in, like the iPhone or something. So here, it will eventually pay off.
Yeah, they're getting into a lot more other talks as far as market talk and stuff like that. But I'm gonna just definitely leave that part in there. Just for all my financial people that are interested in this type of stuff. Um, if you're investing in AI technology companies and stuff like that, you have to understand, man, you're investing for like the long run, for the long plays, for the stuff that they're going to be able to develop and do with these data centers. Like all this stuff is brand new. If you're expecting a return right now, you're in it for the wrong reasons. These are long plays, long-term plays. These aren't just get rich overnight type of things or get wealthy overnight type of things. These are long plays. So you got to be in it for the long run. That means that you have to buy in and hold your position. Don't just keep checking it every day and, oh man, this and the third. Nah, man. Check it every now and then, of course, and know what's going on. Make sure you know what's going on with the leadership, like CEOs and people that's under the CEOs, their outlooks, their policies, any type of news releases that they may have and stuff like that. But this is a long term type of thing. Investing. A lot of people do stuff like day trading and stuff like that, but you know. I'm not that type of investor. I'm an investor that likes to buy and hold and you know I want to see what my investments look like in a few years type of thing. I just keep, even though when I get a little profit out of stuff, like I said, sometimes I might take a little profit out, but majority of the time I'm just gonna reinvest back into that company because I believe in that company. Like you know, and it's just that's just is what it is. But I'm gonna go ahead and close this video out. Kind of ran longer than I expected it to, but all valuable information here. And again, if you like my content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. This is Justin Paul. Peace.